Hello and welcome in this video lesson. With you is Angelo, and here we are going to continue in the King's Gambit. We are going to see the main line and how to play against the King's Gambit. And after these opening moves, we can take that pawn, and usually here in previous video we just examined the bishop gambit by developing the bishop there, and now we're going to see the main line knight to f3, how to play. And I have a very detailed articles actually about all of these gambits and all of these opening systems after e4, e5. You can see we have a very long file here, and we're going to examine the lesson, the point here 36 and 37. Both of them are going to see them today, and you can download this file on your computer for free. And in order to do that, I have a cool solution for you. How to find the PGN files. This is the starting position on my website, and you can see this option register. You can register for free. Then you can log in and new item will appear, profile. Please click it and you're going to see this page. Scroll down and click in your favorite opening line. Click it and then you're going to see the lessons inside. Here you can read a separate article, and then you can start reading, study the lessons one after the other. The lessons are different, and then you can download the PGN files on your computer by clicking here. A new window will appear, and by clicking that one, download, you will get your files. So here we are again in this position, and we have some interesting options to play. Fischer many times ago, he just played the move d6. Actually, he wrote an article about that, the move d6, and after that he played h6. It will be an improvement actually here, that I'm going to recommend. And I recommend you to play the move h6 right now, right here, because your next move is to play g5. g5 in order to keep these pawns here intact actually, and after that you can develop your bishop on g7. Usually the knight is going on e7, controlling some squares, and when your opponent just played bishop to c4, after bishop c4 he is threatening to play knight e5. For that reason, after bishop c4 you have to play d6. This is the main setup actually, and then you are going to see how you are going to develop your remaining pieces there. So let's go. He can play many moves. For example, he can start with this one, then we can play something like that, and after d4 you can play g5 because now we're controlling that one, and after g6 here you can play, you can take mainly, and after that h4 you can play g4. Try to keep the lines close in the king side. This is the idea, and your bishop is going to develop here on g7. It's very important not to open lines too early actually, because your opponent is going to attack. This is one line actually, and another line here after knight c3 is to play h4 instantly. In this way right now, here he's going to destroy our setup, right? Because we cannot really play this move g5, and here you have to remember something else. You would like to protect your pawn on h4, make his life more difficult actually in order to capture that pawn. And how are you going to play? Because you need to protect it, and his next move is d4. So in order to protect it, you have to play knight to f6, and after d4 or d3, we don't actually, after d4 you can take on e4, it's even better. So he's going to play something like d3, and now knight going there, knight to h5, and we're protecting that pawn. So we're making the life of this bishop harder. He cannot really develop right now. It's difficult for him to develop, and he cannot really attack our knight by jumping somewhere with the knight, because all of the times we have this jump on g3, attacking the rook mainly, and maybe we can exchange the knight with the bishop. So knight h5 is a very solid structure actually. It looks a little weird, but you can do it. And after that you can develop the bishop there, or you can play just c6. Both of these moves are playable. Now you can play something like this to stop this idea, so he's not going inside, protecting your knight. After knight to d4 he's attacking our knight, so this g3 move has double role, protecting the knight and stopping the other knight going on f5, and after this we can play something like that, challenging the piece in the center of the board, and everything looks just fine for black, right? It's very playable position, very nice position. So we done about that move, and now he has other options. If you just play something slow like that, then you can strike in the center, maybe like this, d5. Even if computer is not completely agree with that, it's very important to open up the lines in the center of the board to develop your pieces naturally. So he's going to play something like d4. What more natural than that, right? He's controlling the center. For that reason, he just give up his f pawn in order to control the center like that, and now he's threatening the pawn on f4. What to do now? We can play, of course, g5, protecting everything. He has some moves here, many moves. You can analyze the PGN file by yourself actually, and one of the most challenging moves is this one, h4. He's attacking the pawn here, because after this take we cannot take with that pawn, the rook is hanging. For that reason your next move is very natural, very easy, is bishop to g7. Right now we are continue protecting that pawn with the queen and with the pawn, and we're protecting the rook in the same time. So if you just play something like this, you should remember the next move. What are you going to play? What do you think? He is threatening something right now, and he is threatening knight to g5. It is a threat, obviously, to go there, to create some threats, and after this he is going to open the diagonal for the queen to create some annoying threats, annoying initiative. For that reason, after bishop c4, here after bishop c4, we have to play the move d6. So we are stopping this idea once and forever. c3 is a very tricky move, and now you have to be careful, because what is the most natural move right now? I used to play this one many times actually in my blitz games. I lost many blitz games, and after this I learned it. And the most obvious move here is to play something like that, bishop g4, right? But this is not good, because after c3 he is opening the line for the queen, and if you go on g4 he can go on b3, attacking this pawn and that pawn, so troubles. For that reason, don't develop your pieces like this. You can play something like queen to e7, because you are protecting that one, preparing this, attacking that pawn, and then we're going to see. Indeed, knight would like to go there, but we have some concrete problems right now, and the knight cannot go there right now because the g5 pawn is hanging, right? For that reason, the position is tactical. You cannot play anything you like, but by understanding step by step, you're going to play the right moves. Queen e7, for example, you're creating a threat, and after queen c2, you can play many moves. For example, knight c6, computer suggests, or something crazy, bishop to f5, it's another crazy move, you cannot take it, the pawn is pinned, for example, or bishop d7, it's more natural, what I prefer here. And black's position is solid here. You can see computer said that it's +2, but you can feel it, right? You can feel it because he don't have the initiative that he wants. For that reason, bishop c4 is not the most challenging move right now. He can take there, we can take, he can exchange all of the pieces, and now he can play something like that, g3, a new challenge to our position. What are you going to do now? Because he is challenging that pawn, and he said, if you just take here, I can take on g4, on g5 with my bishop, right? He would like to destroy our pawns, and here g4, it's inaccuracy, we can say, because you should not hand the knight like this. You should keep the lines close in the king side, and this is one part of that you need to have on your mind, and the other part is to develop your pieces. How are you going to develop your pieces? By pushing the pawn forward, liberate your pieces like that. You're liberating the bishop, you're threatening the pawn on e4. Material is not so important here. Most important fact is to develop your pieces. And after this, for example, now we need to keep the files closed, and we can play the move g4. Now what he can do, if he goes on g5, he has a lot of problems. For example, we have this powerful check, and you can see we turn the table. He just opened up his king side, his king is extremely naked there, and we can start attacking. And after this we can play something like this. Now queen is here, is coming, maybe this is coming, maybe we can take the knight, and after this we have this check to capture the queen. So white is losing here, completely losing. For that reason he has to play knight to g5, and believe it or not, we can capture a piece. f6 is capturing that piece. The piece is almost up. He can go on h7, by the way. what I'm looking, but I think we can take it from there. For example, after that move, we can play queen to e7, attacking that pawn, attacking the knight, and we're going to collect that knight for sure. So I'm going to add the variation here that we are completely winning. We're going to win a piece by the move f6. However, our pieces, chess openings are extremely important, and especially if you play blitz games. Do you struggle with them? No more! We have a specific and very simple solution for you. Asaf Givon and Angelo Keseris created the Chess Course, the best 10 aggressive and blitz-friendly openings. Follow the link below and grab your gift today. They didn't have this harmony, right? What this bishop is doing here, it's blocked, the knight is going there, we didn't develop our pieces here, we're going to double our pawns, it's not a clean position, so he has some compensation. You can see here the computer said that black is completely winning, right? But it's not so easy. He has to play something like this f5, and after this he can take with the queen there. Now, I analyzed this position. Houdini, actually an old program, suggests here knight to h6. It's an interesting move, not bad actually, but here you have to do something, and what he is going to do, what white is going to do here. If we just step and look, he is going to take here with the bishop. He would like to play something like e5, and with these powerful pawns he can block our pieces, right? We will have what our pieces are going to do after e5. We cannot develop the knight on f6. This bishop is dead in this diagonal, so we need to find a good move, and the good move is bishop takes on d4, because e5 is not a real threat. We can capture that one. If he captures here, or if he just remove that bishop, please remember that b2 pawn is hanging, so it's extremely important, this one. Bishop d4 here, very important and difficult move to find. He can play some moves. I analyzed 3 moves actually. This check is nothing, because you can go here on f8, and believe it or not, our king is secure. And after this, if he just captures on g5, you can play bishop f6, for example, or bishop f6. I think it's okay, right? Try to exchange more pieces, and our king is secure there. It's secure because the knight close to the king is protecting everything. Another idea is to play the knight here, so we can take queen e7, attacking the pawn on e4, try to exchange queens, and after this we can exchange queens. And here, after that move, again, things are not extremely easy. We have an extra piece, an extra knight, but we didn't manage to develop our pieces, and his pawn on f5 is an important asset. So we have a lot of ideas. After this, for example, he can play something like this. He has some initiative. As you can see, the computer said that it is equal. The most safe move is to capture with the bishop. It's safe. We can give back the piece. We can develop our pieces there, and everything is just fine, right? We have an extra pawn. I don't think that we're going to win that game, because he has very nice activity in the bishop pair, but we have an extra free pawn in the center of the board. This is the most safe option, to capture with the bishop. And of course, if you would like to try for more, then again the position for your king is on f8, and after this you're going to develop your pieces. For example, he can play long castling. I think it's a novelty, no one has played this one before. You can play here many moves. Knight to c6 is interesting, or knight d7 is what I analyzed. Here knight there, and after this you can play knight g there, knight g to f6, try to control everything. And now after this you would like to give another check. You can play e3, the best move, try to disorganize a little bit his pieces. I have some analysis here. It's not easy to remember all of these lines actually in the real board, but you should know that black's position is okay, and by calculation you can find this variation during your game, hopefully. And I'm talking to myself as well. So here he has some moves. For example, he can take there. We can just go forward with the king, try to organize our pieces, and after this the king is safe in the center of the board, and we're trying to develop our pieces later. For example, after that we can play b6, try to stop this one, he has another check, you can go there, giving one more pawn actually in order to finalize your development. This one is the liberation, you can liberate all of your pieces, and if you manage to liberate your rook and all of your pieces, then he will have huge problems, we have an extra piece. And after this we can run forward, run with the king, maybe something like this. He has some compensation here, it's not extremely easy to continue with both of the sides. The better player is going to win. This is one variation actually. After long castling, it's very interesting for white. King e2, it's another option, another interesting, another novelty actually. Computer don't like it too much, but okay. If you like to be super safe, you can take with the bishop there and everything is just over. Now, actually, I never played this position in a real board or in a blitz games. No one maybe analyze this one or understand to play something like this. Maybe if they would like to hesitate to capture, to sacrifice the knight on g4, then they stop by and they are not sacrificing this one, they are going back with the knight, so you have all of the possibilities to go forward and claim the initiative. Earlier, I mean, in this position. Now they are going somewhere back on e2 or something else, or they didn't enter in this variation at all. So here, after that, please remember to take on d4. This is very important. He can take here, knight there, and he has some options. One of them is this one, try to give a check on h8, so we can play queen here, and after that one we can capture that pawn. Another very nice move. Capturing there, he cannot take with the pawn, he can take with the queen, and now we have check. We can take there with check, we can take here, and this is actually better variation comparing to the previous one, because white don't have this unknowing, we can say, f-pawn. And here black has a small advantage. This is all of this file actually, and let's jump forward to the next one. I have another file here, and in the next file we're going to examine bishop to c4. Do you remember what you should play after bishop to c4? Very important, don't forget about that, is the move d6, because he is threatening to go forward and we stop him. And now he has some options. After this we can play again that one, and we have the small advantage here, castling, bishop there. For example, you can play c3. Please remember here not to develop the bishop too early. It's very tempting to go forward, but after c3 he is threatening to go on b3, attacking this one and that one, so be careful. Knight to e7, actually I have a game actually Lego played wrongly. In the variations you can check it by yourself. He played the knight on f6 at one game and he lost actually, I think. But knight e7 is a very nice move, because we are threatening to play something like d5 in the appropriate moment, and if we manage to play the move d5 we are going to kill this bishop. This bishop will not have activity. And now you can play many moves like h4, we can play the knight there, attacking the pawn. As you can see, we try to eliminate this stance. If he goes forward we can retreat, and what the pawn is doing, he closed the file, or if he just take here we can recapture with the pawn and we have an extra open file for our rook. Another variation is to play h6. Now we can play bishop there because we're attacking the rook, and after that we can play, for example, castling or knight g6, and after this we can play g4, try to keep the lines blocked. He can play something like this, and d5. Remember that move, very important. Try to strike in the center of the board, destroy his coordination, and for example after that you can develop the pieces. Now you're threatening something like this, something like that, attacking that pawn, and I think black position it's very cool here, very nice. He can play something like that, protecting everything, protecting that pawn, and here we have better position actually. So this is all about the King's Gambit. You learned everything. Please remember to make some recaps, to come again, to see this video again, to remember everything. You're very welcome to subscribe for free on my website to get all of these important files, and I wish you good luck to your games. If you would like to get attacking positions in every opening, then I suggest you this amazing course 10 aggressive openings blitz friendly. And here I'd like to show you the lessons inside the website. If you are logged in, then you are going to see this new menu profile. If you click it, you are going to see this page, and then you can click here my lessons. From this one you can see your available lessons, and if you scroll down you can click here 10 aggressive openings with Asaf Givon. With this fantastic author we create together the lessons, and you can see here one lesson after the other. You can see typical mistakes, after that how to start the game correctly, the best 10 moves, then you can see what are the aggressive openings, and then you are going to learn one lesson after the other. We have a lot of lessons there, and you can create a very solid and strong repertoire with white and black. And here you can see two of the free lessons that I already published them on YouTube. And last but not least, here you can download the PGN theory on your website. You can download the practice, the PGN files. You can see all of the games online on my website, or if you click here on practice PDF, then you can see the exercises in the PDF format, and you will be available to download this as well. You can set up these positions. You have a lot of interesting examples in each position from every single opening. I suggest you this fantastic course in order to start correctly in every single opening. Thanks for your time, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Here it's time for action. This is the initial page of my website, and here you can click Give me access to get access to free lessons. You can read this page, and if you scroll down, here you can add your name and your email. After that, you're going to take a free lesson how to avoid chess blunders. So, time for action is now, and you're very welcome to join my mail list.